Red Bull has to face a very big problem this year in Jeddah. The team that dominated the 2022 season and looked to be leagues above the competition in Bahrain 2023 may not be as good as thought before. Verstappen faced a significant issue in his car in Q2 of qualifying, which led his car to lose all pace. The two-time world champion had to limp back to the paddock as the team looked into his issue, causing him to end his qualifying session at P15. Furthermore, Verstappen also complained about engine and transmission problems in Bahrain and the practice sessions in Jeddah. According to reports, he had to lower his power to make sure his engine did not give up in Bahrain. Could Red Bull be hiding issues they are facing in the garage? And would we have already seen a retirement from Red Bull in Bahrain if they ran full power during the entire race? What would be the consequences of these issues? And will we see a handicapped Red Bull in Jeddah today? Let's find out in this video. Max Verstappen was setting out the best laps throughout the practice sessions prior to qualifying, and the only car that seemed close to him was Sergio Perez in the other Red Bull. It was a sure P1 for him as he had a comfortable lead in Q1. However, things did not go his way in Q2. The RB19 suddenly went into limp mode while Max was on track, forcing him to stay on the side and slowly make his way back to the garage. The drive shaft on his car broke, and he was eliminated in Q2 because he could not set a proper time. He confirmed this issue in a post-qualifying interview with Viaplay. "Drive shaft is broken, so then it stops," said Verstappen. "I can't make anything else of it, just have to accept and try to make the most of it on Sunday." Furthermore, another problem Max seemed to face in the RB19 was related to the transmission. He complained about having bad downshifts in some of the corners of the track, and even though he was the fastest in all the practice sessions, he did not seem very happy with how the car felt in his hands. This led to Red Bull replacing his gearbox prior to qualifying, which may or may not be related to the problem Max faced on track. The RB19 also had issues in Bahrain related to the downforce the car produced. The car's ride height was very low, causing it to hit the track surface repeatedly. The team has managed to raise the ride height since then, but that results in an overall lower amount of downforce produced by the car's underside, which may result in a slower pace in Jeddah. Red Bull also faced reliability issues in their car last year at the start of the 2022 season. The Bahrain GP ended in a double DNF for both Checo and Max after the cars had issues with the engine and steering. The next few races also did not prove great for them either after Max had another DNF in Australia, which led him to fall back 46 points behind Charles Leclerc. The problem was focused on the engine unit itself, and the team had to do great work to improve its reliability. The team also tried to put less load on the engine by avoiding running on full power, which proved essential for Max's comeback to win the 2022 Drivers' Championship and helping Red Bull win the Constructors. We saw the team give similar instructions to both drivers in Bahrain at the end of the race. This was because the team had a comfortable lead to the other cars behind, and they did not want to put extra stress on the engine. But is the additional stress something we need to worry about? Let us know in the comments section whether Red Bull will also try to put less load on its engines this year. With the pace they are showing though, they still might be faster than the rest of the cars, even after reducing their engine's output. Before I talk about what we could expect from tomorrow, please consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel if you enjoy our content. Now, the qualifying results leave Verstappen in 15th place before the Saudi Grand Prix, a position he almost certainly did not want. With Fernando Alonso's extreme pace and 14 other cars ahead of him, including teammate Sergio Perez, Max would have to showcase an extraordinary race to win this time in Jeddah. The amount of traffic he would face from his positions would require a well-planned strategy to overcome. However, it is not impossible for him yet, and if one driver on the track could do it, it is him. He has shown again and again how well he drives, especially in cases where he starts at the back. He has won races from 10th on the grid before and has even managed to step onto the podium from dead last. And with the pace the RB19 is showing, the Saudi GP will be exciting to watch, to say the least. Ultimately, it will depend on the tire strategies Red Bull uses and whether Sergio Perez will even allow him to overtake after the fiasco that happened last year in Brazil. Christian Horner also talked about the prospects of today's race in an interview. "Yes, that's what it looks like, problems with the drivetrain," Horner stated. "We have to get into the car and see exactly. A great shame, that lap in Q1 would have put him P4 on the grid. We have a quick race car, and I'm sure he'll race quickly tomorrow. I mean, there's still opportunities tomorrow. I think it's going to be about strategy, safety cars staying out of trouble on the first lap here. So yeah, I mean, there's still, everything to play for, Horner said. With Checo on pole and Leclerc having a grid penalty, Fernando Alonso gets to take up the second spot on the grid, and he will be the main challenge both Checo and Max would have to face. All he needs is a few ounces of good luck, fast pit stops, and a better tire strategy, and we might see Alonso on the top step of the podium tomorrow. There's also Leclerc, who, even after the 10-pace penalty, still sits ahead of Verstappen in 12th. In his post-qualifying interview, Charles Leclerc talked about his qualifying results and his expectations for today. I think it's been a very difficult weekend in terms of pace for us, but I'm very happy about my lap. I think I put everything in it. It was really, really on the limit. On the other hand, we are struggling a little bit, so we need to keep pushing, but that's what we are doing as a team. Tomorrow is not going to be easy. I have a 10-place penalty, so we'll be starting a little bit further back, but we'll focus on the race and hopefully come back in the front as quickly as possible. It also remains to be seen how the two teammates handle racing one another in Jeddah as well. They are the two fastest cars on the track, and hence the closest competition they have is each other. If Verstappen manages to reach the top 3, he will still have to fight off Checo to take first place, assuming Checo stays in the lead throughout. It will depend on the team's orders and whether the management lets Max forcefully through, but Checo also always has the option of not listening and giving Max the same treatment Max showed him in Brazil last year. Checo commented on Max's issue and his hopes for the race in the post-race interview after scoring the second pole position of his career. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, Max has been really strong the whole weekend. So hopefully tomorrow we can have both cars up there, as you never know with these cars, reliability issues can hit you at any time. He also mentioned reliability concerns with the car and how the track in Jeddah causes more damage to the car than others. There's always reliability concerns, especially around this place. It is so easy to make damage to the cars, and at the end of the day, there will always be reliability concerns, but hopefully not tomorrow. Mercedes also remains a question mark in today's race. The team has not shown any real improvement, but it remains a fast car overall if you compare it with the rest of the lineup. If they manage to hold off Verstappen for even a few laps, it could prove detrimental to the Dutch racer, who has his eyes on the championship again this year. In the end, it all comes down to 3 things: reliability, traffic, and skills that would tell us what we can expect from Max tomorrow. It is clear that the RB19 has issues that need to be taken care of, and Red Bull will be pushing hard throughout the season to rectify them. However, even with these issues, Red Bull is the fastest car on the track, and if Verstappen does not face any other problems in tomorrow's race, he will be giving a tough time to others on the track. Max wants to minimize the damage dealt to him today, and we can only wait and see if he is able to show his class in the race. He would have to make sure he does not get stuck in traffic, as it is clear he has the pace to get to the top quickly, but if he gets held back by other cars, the podium will be a hard reach for him later today. What do you think? Will Max be able to show promising results in the Saudi Grand Prix? What position would you predict he would end with? Also, comment down your thoughts on Red Bull's reliability this season and whether that will be a factor in determining the champion for this year. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, watch the other videos on our channel for more news related to Formula One.